This is a video I took of my trip on RegioJet from Praha Hlavní nádraží in Prague to Wien Hauptbahnhof in Vienna. Now, one useful thing I thought of later as I was in my final stages of preparing this video is that I should look at the timetables and the prices of traveling on RegioJet. RegioJet's own website seems to put you on the bus in Ola modes if you're going to go to Vienna, which doesn't have anything to do with what I did. So I went on EDOS, which is sort of a generic timetable website for all transport in the Czech Republic, even flights actually. But it also covers RegioJet. There used to be a very similar site called Jízdní rády, which I used a lot, and I used the name interchangeably on this. So you can apparently get RegioJet train tickets on EDOS, but not actually on their own website, which makes no sense at all to me. Let's see if it gives us any information about fares. I think this is actually even the same service, 1035. There's the price. This is what I wanted to get. Now, typically, České dráhy don't give you a great deal on return tickets, but I'm assuming that, this is a weird thing they're giving me here. Okay, so the total cost would be 718 crowns, which, if you wanted to convert that to dollars, this is a common currency conversion site, one of the more popular ones. So if we try Czech crowns to dollars, 718. What do we have? Yeah, so $32, which isn't too bad. I know for a fact that this can sometimes be double this for strange reasons that I don't completely understand. It depends on when you reserve. And this doesn't include seat reservation necessarily on České dráhy. Notice České dráhy is a little bit more. But on RegioJet you always get a reservation, so that helps. So yeah, if there's anything positive to say, I would say the pricing's been more consistent lately. It's not actually that expensive. We had to pay a little bit more than this, I believe, if memory serves. I've forgotten actually what we paid. But I wanted to just include that. All of this video is shot on the train, but I decided to put it up anyway because it's sort of interesting. It gives you a view of the amenities, for example, the seatback entertainment systems, and the speedometer they give you. Although not actually in that shot. That screen keeps changing as the trip progresses. Basically, it runs in a cycle, Obviously, they update the stations, but it also gives you several views, like some of the videos you see on airplanes. There you go, 160 kilometers per hour. 99 miles an hour. So we were highballing properly by this point. I actually end this video in Břeclav, which is way down south, on the border with Austria. Scenery's great on the trip. It was in the winter time, obviously. The Czech Republic isn't technically in the Alps, though I should add that. This is not the Austrian Alps. They give you a travel guide with a map and some pictures of the trains and buses they operate. But the most important thing about this is it includes the food menu. I'm going to page ahead to it here. The prices are surprisingly low when you consider that it's on a train. This isn't any more than you'd pay in a pub in the Czech Republic as a general rule. Less than some pubs, actually. And they have a little bit of variety. Now this is the yard in Židanica, which is one of the neighborhoods in Brno. And it's mostly a freight yard, as you can see. It's not really a coach yard. And there's a station for Židanica also. It's a work train there. And the Židanica station is coming up next, but you can see Židanica is basically residential. You have the Panelok apartment buildings there and some regular houses also. There's the Židanica station. Could be in better condition. The snow covers a lot of the damage, actually. A little bit more of Židanica. Now this is where the track forks to go to Hlavní nádraží in Brno. At the time that I took the video, they had it partly shut down for renovations, so we used Dolní nádraží, which is this one, which is normally not a major station, and actually Google Earth didn't even have it marked. I don't know if that's different now, but it's just not a very significant station normally. But they had porta cabins and a lot of other things set up to accommodate the much larger number of passengers than they would normally have. This is actually looking away from the station into the yard. The station's actually behind me in this shot. And you can see one of the local trains there, because it was locals and intercity trains that used it. Then we pulled out and headed south for the Austrian border. That's actually one of the work trains back there, although I don't know if that one was directly involved in the renovation of Brno Hlavní nádraží. The tracks are actually maintained by a separate entity from České dráhy, actually. Or several of them, really, including some private contractors. So now we're arriving in Břeclav, and you can see it's already getting dark, and I can't remember whether I had to cut this video here because of my battery or because of the darkness. Because the glass on these trains basically makes it very hard to do videos in the dark, as you can see. So I probably gave up anyway at this point. This was a while ago that I took this video, so I don't remember exactly what I was thinking. In general, though, this is one of the nicer rail services I've been on in the Czech Republic, even if I am a little bit skeptical of private operators. The next thing are these water cranes, or water columns, as we sometimes call them in the US, for steam locomotives, since they do still run some steam excursions on the Czech Republic's mainline system. But what I was going to say is I considered this one of the nicer train trips I've been on, and RegioJet's trains are in good enough condition so that a lot of the other shortcomings are minimal. They tend to generally run full express services too, so if you're trying to just get from one major city to another, it's a pretty good service in that way too. Relatively fast. We're arriving in Vienna here. This was 2 days later when we were leaving Vienna after our trip. And you get to see a little bit of Vienna here until we get to Břeclav. I don't actually have footage for the whole return trip, but I figured I'd show a little bit of Vienna. I'm going to do my next few videos about trains, at least, about my trip to Poland on Leo Express, which will be more elaborate than this, I think. Thanks for watching.